Assalamu alaikum. This is the instructor Amal Ali. I'll be teaching the course of writing for this semester. Hopefully it's going to be kind of helpful for you. And I want you to keep in mind how important and essential this kind of course is, because I believe it forms the basis and the foundation for the writing in general. So if you do not master writing a paragraph, how would you develop your writing into an article, an essay, or different kind of genres? So we begin with the smaller unit in order to be able to construct larger and stronger kind of writing that would reflect the level of a bachelor degree holder from the University of Jordan. Therefore, I think although some of you might find things like really easy for them, especially the ones who came from like a strong educational background, like international schools or lived abroad or so on, but still I believe it's essential and important to understand the construction, the way the English language is constructed and established. This understanding would help you for better kind of a production. Now, I assigned for you two books that again, they are available at Al-Amiriya bookshop. The first one is entitled with Writing Sentence Skills, and the second one is Paragraph Development. Apparently, we're going to start with the first book, then we will move to the second one. Why? Because absolutely writing a sentence comes first. So first you manage writing a sentence, and then you move to writing a paragraph. So we move from the smaller unit to the bigger unit. Now, many students would rush writing a sentence, would do mistakes writing a sentence. If doing so, then your whole writing will be incorrect or wouldn't be of that great value. Therefore, we start, as I said, with a smaller unit. We're going to learn together how is a sentence constructed in the English language. What are the elements of the sentence? How do we relate sentences together? How do we punctuate sentences? What are the relationships between different parts of sentences? All of these topics are going to be part of what we are going to cover in this course. The first half of the semester, so we will be working on the sentence level. But after the mid, maybe, we're going to move to the paragraph development. We're going to study and learn how to write a paragraph in relation to different kind of genres, whether it's informational paragraph, descriptive, or so on, many other different kinds of writing. So, the syllabus isn't ready for today. Tomorrow, inshallah, I might be talking about the syllabus, and I'm going to send you a copy, a PDF copy, so you can use it whenever you need. Our lessons are going to be videos and assignments for the weekdays. We're going to have 2 interactive classes every week. Still, I'm waiting for my Microsoft Teams to be activated so we can, inshallah, start our interactive lessons. But meanwhile, we are going to use this WhatsApp group and the YouTube channel in order to provide you with the lectures needed. Today, so it's only an orientation because I want to give the chance for people to buy their books, to get the books, copies of the books. Someone asked me if we get PDF. Unfortunately, we don't. But I promise once my e-learning is activated, every lesson by lesson, I will be uploading pictures of each lesson over there so you can make use of them. So, what are we going to do for today? As I said, something simple. It's only orientation. I'm not starting with the book itself. I want to give something that I believe is requisite, very essential that you learn, because I know you are university students, but still some of you did not manage these things in a pretty good way. When we begin with the book, then we're going to start with the part page, I guess, 3. page 3, subject and verbs, then we will move to sentence fragment, then we're going to move to run-on sentences and so on. But before giving you all these things, I want you to watch this thing in front of you that I would call it a map. A map that I want you to memorize in your mind forever, for the rest of your life. Because we always do mistakes because things are not put in the right file in your brains. Imagine that your brain is a computer and it has files and folders for everything. So if things are not put in the right folder, things overlap and you do mistakes. But if things are clear and organized enough, your life will be easier. Today I decided to begin my orientation and the first class talking about verbs in the English language. Now, the verbs mainly are divided into two big sections in the English language. First one we call it the main verb, and the second one we call the helping verbs. Now, which one is larger in the English language, main verbs or helping verbs? Definitely the main verbs. We have like endless number of main verbs in the English language, whereas the helping verbs are limited in number. Now, in the main verb, as you can notice, I divided it into two columns. One says action and one says state. Now, what is the difference between action verb and a state verb? And both of them together make a main verb or belong to the main verbs category. Now, when I say action, then it's anything that shows action or movement. So imagine when you run, there is a kind of action. Imagine when you eat, there is action. When you sleep, there is action. When you write, your hand is moving, there is action. When you read, there is a movement in your eyes, so there is action. So again, so the action verbs are verbs that show action when you do them, and that's why we call them action verbs. That is the reason why we call them action verbs, because simply they show us action. Parts of your body, parts of anything would be moving, or you can imagine the movement. Like compare this when you say run, so you can run. When you say eat, then something moves in your body, your mouth and your hands. Sleep, then your breathing goes up and down. Right, your hand is writing, and read, your eyes are moving. So again, there is action in it. But if I say school, there is no action in it. Just a picture comes to your mind of a school. That's it. So it's a noun, it's not a verb. Or when you say bus, there's a picture of a bus that comes to your mind. Or if I say happiness, there is an image of happiness comes to your mind. So that's the major difference between a verb that shows action and between a noun that shows an image or a concept. Now let's move to the state verbs, which is again another part of the main verbs. The state verbs, they are a group of verbs that first would be related to feelings. Things happen inside the heart, inside your body. Like when you say love, or when you say hate, or when you say like, resent, dislike, even feel itself, okay? So these verbs that show us feeling, they do not show action, like when you say eat or sleep. They show feelings that happen inside your heart, inside yourself. So they are related to feelings. So again, the first part of the state verbs, they show feelings like love and hate and like and feel. No action when you hate someone, it's a feeling inside your heart. When you feel sad, no action in that, it's a feeling inside, okay? So they don't show action. The second part is related to perception. What is perception? The processes, the things that happen in your mind. What happens in my mind? I understand, I recognize, I realize, I think, I believe. So these are things that happen in your mind as a kind of perception. So when you understand something, it's not it's not an action. It's something that happens inside your mind. So we call it a state. It's a state of understanding, of recognizing. And the last two verbs, they have to do with wants and needs. Just like when you say I want or I need. Okay, so wants, just like saying I need. So if you need a cup of coffee or a glass of water, there is no action in that. It's something that happens inside your the desire. It's a desire inside you. Okay, even the verb desire. So prefer, when you say I prefer, this is among things you want. You prefer to do something. You don't prefer to do something else. Okay, so where is the cursor again? What's wrong with it? Okay, no problem. Let's go up. So I hope this is clear now. This way we finished the largest section of English verbs, that are the main verbs that show action or a state. Now we move to the helping verbs, in which we have 4 big families. In each family they should be members, dad and mom and sisters and brothers. Imagine it this way. So the helping verbs in English language are only 4 families. Just imagine that to our families. When you just say any big family name, it is the same it is the same case here. So what are the members of the first family, B family? Am, is, are, was, and were. These are the members of the first family, B family. Am, is, are, was, and were. We call them helping verbs from B family. Now, when I say do family, who are the members of this family? First of all, we have do itself. Then we have does. Then so we have does, and finally we have did. So these are the members of this family. When we move to have family, who are the members? We have itself, has, and then we have had. Okay? Now we will move to the last family. That is kind of a problematic because some people don't consider it as helping verbs, but I prefer to go with the theories that believe that they belong to helping verbs. What are the models in the English language? What are the members of this family? Would, will, and its past, would. Can, and its past, could. Shall, and its past, should. May, and its past, might. Have to, or has to, and their past, had to. And then we have must and ought to. Okay, so imagine that this is a map that you need to have it in your mind forever. So things in your life becomes easier whenever you deal with this. Now, suppose that a verb that belongs to the main verbs domain would like to go and make a visit to the helping verbs. Is it possible? Yes, it is possible with some conditions. So each group of helping verbs has its own conditions to accept visitors from the main verbs. Let's begin with B family. If an action verb visits B family, then it would say, okay, you are welcome, but you need to add ing. So it says okay to action verbs, but plus ing with the verb. So when we say, suppose we say is, and then the verb eat comes for a visit, then it should be eating. It should be eating. So it becomes she is eating, they are eating, I am eating. Okay, so this is the rule. Whereas state verbs, state, if the verb is from the state verbs, then it is refused. What does that mean? And I put you this sad face. It is refused. What does that mean? This means I cannot say is loving or hating, where understanding is recognizing, am wanting, was wanting, wrong, wrong, wrong. Imagine that be family with the state verbs as if they are enemies, and the state verbs are not allowed to come and visit the helping verb be. So never say I am feeling, but you say I feel, or I am liking this picture, but I like. Okay, so to summarize this again, it's okay for an action verb to visit be family, but it should be followed by ing. It's not accepted that a state verb visits be family, it is refused. Okay, now we will move to do family. It's okay for both of them, action or state, to visit do family, with the condition that the verb should be a base verb. What does base mean? The verb as it is, adding nothing to it, changing nothing. You cannot add s or es or d or make it past or adding to it ing, nothing. Keep the verb as it is, like we say do and play, so you keep it play. That's for an action verb. Let's take an state verb. We could say did understand. Did, yani if you want to make sure that you understood something, so you say yes, I did understand it. So you emphasize that you understand this lesson. Did understand. Now understand is a base verb. I didn't make it like understood in the past. I didn't make it understanding. I didn't make it understands. Nothing is allowed to be added to the verb. It should be a base verb. Base verb. I prefer to write the rule here in a different color. I love colors when I study. I usually have lots of highlighters. So I think life is more beautiful with lots of colors and easier. Things become easier to comprehend with colors. I believe so. I don't know if you agree with me or not, but I believe in studying grammar, specifically parts of the sentence. All the time you need highlighters to be highlighting this part and that part. So we all love rainbows because they are colorful. Anyway, let's move on to the have family. Now, if a verb visits have family, both of them are welcomed, whether it's an action verb or whether it's a state verb. So both are welcome, no problem. But they should be followed by verb 3, that is the PP, past participle. Now, when we say past participle, and in most of the books and dictionaries, at the end you have a list of verbs, regular, irregular verbs. So you get verb 1, and then you get verb 2, and then you get verb 3. Like when you say run, ran, run again. So verb 3 is run. Sing, verb 1, sang, verb 2, and sung is verb 3. So that column of verb 3, we use it here. We need it here after we have any member from have family in the sentence. So suppose we take the verb write. Suppose we take the verb write, and I say she has. Then I need verb 3. What is verb 3 from write? Written. So I make it written. or had with play, played. Now I will give you a golden rule here that any verb 3 from regular verb that ends with ed like played, then it is ed. So if verb 2 simple past is ed, verb 3 is automatically ed. So studied, verb 2, studied, verb 3. Played, verb 2, played, verb 3. Stayed, verb 2, stayed, verb 3. So whenever brushed, verb 2, brushed, verb 3. Whenever verb 2 simple past is ed, then automatically verb 3 is ed. But if it's irregular, like write, wrote, written, read, 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 sleep, slept, slept, eat, ate, eaten, run, ran, run. That's kind of a problematic. You need just to memorize the list by heart with these irregular verbs. You need to learn how to write verb 3 from them. Many students write written with one T, which is a big mistake. You should remember that. Written, we double the T when it's verb 3. Okay? Now, let's move to the last family, that is the modals family. Now, does the modal family accept the two parts of action and state verbs? Yes, it does. All the helping verbs do, except for B family, that did not accept the visit of the state verbs. So both action and state verbs are welcomed in modals family, but they should be followed like verb do, the family of do, with a base verb. Again, what's a base verb? The verb that has no addition to it, the verb as it is, without s, without es, without ing, without ed. So if I have will with an action verb like sleep, so you say I will sleep, not I will sleeping, not I will sleeps or slept, it should be will sleep. Let's take a state verb like think, would think. So we have a base verb, would think. This way we are done with all helping verbs with the four families we talked about: be, do, have, and modals. It's so essential to put each verb in a sentence in its correct place. So if I give you the sentence, she was writing a letter. Was writing is the verb. So it's good to know that was, according to this map, belongs to be family. Whereas writing with the ing belongs to action verb main verbs. And I add to it ing because it comes after be family. So let your mind be very organized and just categorize and distinguish between the different parts of the verbs. You should learn if this verb is only action, if it's only state, or if the verb has two parts or more than two parts. We shall spend some time. So you know that shall is a helping verbs from the modals family. And shall go. Go, now you know that it's the main verb, it's from the action verbs. If you get this map very clear in your mind, it's going to save you in the future, because you will be able to distinguish clearly where each verb belongs to. Now some of you might ask me this question: why have and has are repeated twice, once in the helping verbs family, the other time in the modals family? I would say yeah, they are repeated, but notice that here when it's a modal, it's followed by to. So it's have to, has to, had to, and that makes the big difference. So if it's followed by to, then it becomes a part of the modals family, and it should be followed by base verb. Whereas if it's not followed by to, so I just have it like have or has or had, then it belongs to have family, and it should be followed by verb 3. So that's all for today. As I promised, it's going to be just an introductory class because I want to give you the chance to get the books. Tomorrow, inshallah, we're going to start with our first lesson. that is going to be the subject and verb. I know it's so easy, but at the same time it is so essential that we start with the easiest things in order to step forward for more difficult and advanced things. By the end of the week, I'm going to give you an assignment, and each assignment may sum up to 5 marks. You know that the marks division will be 50 marks for the classwork, the assignments and the homework and the participation along the semester, and the last 50 marks will be your exam on campus, inshallah. So please take assignments so seriously, because they are going to help you a lot, and if you just do them sincerely and submit them on time and you try your best to do them the right way, then they are going to push you a lot. I wish you the best of luck. See you tomorrow, inshallah. As I said, I will, inshallah, tomorrow I'll upload the syllabus for you. You ask me if you have any question regarding the syllabus, and if some people would love to prepare, then we are starting with writing sentence skills. Skip the first part of the book, in which you're going to find many attached papers and some handwriting on them, says worksheets. Skip them and move to something numbered 3, page number 3, where a circle is put around number 3. It starts with the title, subjects and verbs. That's going to be our lesson for tomorrow. I'll prepare maybe a PowerPoint for that lesson and just send you a video on my YouTube channel again, until inshallah we will be able to get our interactive lessons that I'm really enthusiastic to start them with you, because it's more fun to teach people who just listen to you and are able to interact with you, rather than just to be passive. They listen and they try to understand by themselves. Best of luck, guys. See you and take care. Goodbye.